Welcome to RickRackRuby. I'm Laura Cluvo. Today we will make one of my all-time favorite projects, the Elf Girl Christmas ornament. She's made from felt and candy stripe pipe cleaners. She's fun and easy, so let's get started. To make our felt Elf Girl Christmas ornament, you'll need a completed 20mm face bead. Check out my Focus on Faces tutorial to learn how to make these. We'll also need 3 pieces of felt. This is a 3-inch scallop circle, a 2.5-inch scallop circle, and a 1.5-inch scallop circle. This is the skirt, this is the collar, and this is the hat. We'll cut this in half, so this makes 2 hats. A 12-inch red and white striped pipe cleaner plus a 5-inch length. Some hair yarn. I've chosen this auburn color. This is just regular acrylic yarn. A nice long piece of baker's twine threaded onto a needle. This is about probably almost 2 yards of baker's twine. I've got my thread ready to go here, matching the color of felt. A little holly sticker, my favorite, and a 7mm red pom-pom. Let's get started. The long pipe cleaner or chenille stem becomes the body. Just pinch it together in the center, and then the skirt is going to slide over the top. Fold the skirt in half, like this, and again like this to determine the center, and then just snip that off, creating the tiniest little hole, and then slide this on to the top where that fold is. Leave 1 inch of the folded pipe cleaner exposed. I also have my hot glue gun and my sewing machine ready to go. I'm going to fold this down in front and back and then press in the sides like this to form her skirt. And I will secure this with a little bit of glue. First front and back. See this little scallop right here? That's the front center. Then I'll put a little glue in here. Fold that in. And then in here. And there's my little skirt. Next we're going to insert the arms in between. So open this up and then twist it, just a half of a twist, so you can slide this in. But of course we want the arms to be centered, and then we want them to be tight. So give this another half a twist above the arms. There's your arms. And then pinch this together nice and tight. The collar is next. So again, we'll fold this in half and in half again. Find the center, a little snip, there's the center. Then slide that on. Leave about 1/4 inch poking through, about like that. Before I glue, I'll show you. This, 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 and this is about 1/4 inch. So I'll fold that over, center it, front and back, and then, and again, I like to have this little dip in the center, front and back. And I'll put a drop of hot glue front and back to secure the collar. We're just moving right along. Here's the head. I want the head to go all the way down so that it touches the collar. It should be nice and tight in there. I'm going to put my glue right here on the top of the neck. We're halfway there. Now let's add a little decoration to her neck. I'm just going to do a little bow from the baker's twine, stitching through. Kind of adjust those loops however long you want them. I like when they're a little bit longer than the collar, about that long. After my bow is tied, I want to secure it with a little smudge of glue on the underside, just to make sure that that stays exactly how I like it. Then I'll tie an overhand knot in each streamer. Now let's make her hat. I'm going to fold this together and stitch right along that edge. Here's how it looks. I'm going to trim off that seam allowance toward the point just a little bit, just so that when I turn it, it stays nice and pointy. I'm going to pull the tip out. And then I'm going to sew the pom-pom on. I have a double strand of matching sewing thread. I'll secure the knot inside and stitch the pom-pom on. Remember to get all the way through the center of the pom-pom and not just through the fluff. I'll go through this a couple of times, and then I'll secure my thread inside the hat here. Cute. Let's make her hair. Leave a nice long tail and wrap around your fingers in a figure 8 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. This second tail should be on the opposite side. Then make a complete revolution around the center of the bundle and tie it off. The nice secure knot that pulls that center together. And then you can cut off the tails. Repeat for a second bundle. Hold this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Around and tie it off. And trim off the streamers. We're going to glue these bundles to the top of her head. Start with the back. I've completely covered the back of her head behind the hole with hot glue. And now I'm going to kind of arrange and press the yarn into the glue. I need to work quickly before the glue dries. Only the bottom of the hair is going to show. Doesn't have to be perfect. Now for the front, I'm going to spread some hot glue in a U, kind of across her whole head like that. Press the top, a little center knot, and then twist and press into the glue. Twist and press into the glue. It doesn't matter what this top looks like because it's going to be covered by the hat. You can use any yarn. She's looking good. Now let's get to work on her hat. What I want to do here is a running stitch around the edge of the hat, like this. About 1/4 inch stitches all the way around. leave a nice long tail about 12 inches and just stitch all the way around the hat. There we go. I have a gathering stitch all the way around the edge of the hat, and I'm going to leave some nice long tails, at least 12 inches each. Now you can see if I tug these a little bit, it's going to gather up the hat. So just gather it up a little bit and then apply some hot glue right inside here, right along the string. It's okay. It'll work. Trust me. Then while your glue's still hot, place it on her head. And I don't like to cover the face too much. I like to be able to see her eyes and her eyebrows and her eyelashes. So I pull it down a little further in the back so it has like a little, see, a little tip. And then tie this in a pretty bow in the back. A knot to secure the gathers, a bow, and then trim the streamers, tie an overhand knot in each streamer, of course, because the twine will fray. And then a little smudge of glue under here to hold the bow. And then we need a hanging loop. Place the hanging loop through the hat in front of the pom-pom. I tend to make my hanging loops kind of long. Just gives you a little bit more flexibility on where you're going to hang her. She's looking great. Now to give her a little bit of movement, let's shape her feet. Bend the foot up about 3/4 of an inch, all the way up against the leg. Bend it again, and then form a little knee. 3/4 of an inch. Then I don't try to get the legs exactly the same. You know, she's kind of stepping out, so she's got a little one leg in front of the other. Then similarly, for the hand, I'm going to use, this one's a little bit longer. I guess I could pull it, but so I think I'm going to use this one to hold her wreath. And this one's just going to be bent up. That's about 1/2 inch. And then a little bend in her elbow. I like that to come in front of the skirt. This hand can hold the wreath. The wreath is easy. This is a green glittery pipe cleaner chenille stem. Just form it in a circle and then kind of weave it around and around. Don't make it too tight. Doesn't have to be, you want a little personality, right? And honestly, you could call this done. You could call this wreath done. It's perfectly cute like this. Especially if you're working with kids, you just want to make it simple. That's fine. But I like to add a little bit more pizzazz by weaving this green glittery eyelash yarn through. Just takes a minute, and it's about 1/2 yard of the yarn. I'm not even going to use all this. This just adds a little bit of whimsy. I'm going to trim this off and spot glue it to secure. I spot glued my ends, and I've decided that right here is where I'm going to bring her hand in and around. Oh, the sun came out. Yay! So it's going to go through the wreath and then wrap around and then put the end to the back or to the inside so that that wire isn't poking toward the front. Then a little decoration, which I'm going to put right over her hand. A spot of hot glue, and like that. Thank you for watching my tutorial. If you're enjoying my videos, please like, share, and subscribe.